Alright, welcome to another episode of Photographers, and today we'll be discussing how to shoot panning photos. So Kuya Mon, what the fuck is panning photos? Pacman. Photographers, 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 photographers. What are panning photos? Panning photos are photos like this. So you see the blurred background that suggests movements with a clear, definite subject that is in focus. Okay? Alright. But the blur in panning photos doesn't come from bokeh. Okay? It comes from the movement of the camera as you follow along yung subject. Okay?
Alright.
Naintindihan nyo na ba yun?
Yeah.
Pwede na yun.
Motion blur.
Motion blur. With of the background.
Motion blurred.
Motion blur of the background.
Not blur, ha?
Blurred.
Not blur in Japan.
Blurred.
Not blur in Japan.
Motion blurred. Tangina nyo. Okay, for this episode, we'll be using the Nikon D7500. Put it in S mode, okay? That's shutter speed priority, meaning all you have to think about is your choice of shutter speed. Everything will be in auto. The aperture is in auto, and the ISO, I'm gonna put it also in auto. Okay, I'm lazy that way. Okay, so we'll try first at 1/30th of a second, and we'll see what we can get. So that's the first tip. Use a slow shutter speed. Anything between what? It depends upon the speed of your subject. So it might be that you're using 125 or 1/30 or 1/15th of a second. Okay, although we're gonna be doing it handheld, so we'll see, and we don't know how fast this guy can go. How fast do you come? Do you come? There you go. Okay, our second tip is to pan along with your subject. Keep our subject in one focus point of your camera and pan along as your subject moves. Goes along. Try to keep them in one area of your screen. So just like this one, if you would look here, and then you shoot like that. You try to keep our subject in one area of your screen and pan along while you're shooting. Okay? So our third tip is to use burst fire in your camera or continuous burst in your camera, and it's a good thing that our Nikon D7500 has a continuous high burst of 8 frames per second. O, diba? Commercial! Ayop, na ibasok pa yun. Okay, our third tip focuses on how you focus. Ayop. Okay, our third tip is all about focusing. Well, right now, again, since we are using a very fast focusing lens, the Nikon 35mm 1.8G with our Nikon D7500 Nikon, baka naman mga hayop. Since we are using this setup, I'm very confident in using continuous focus for this one. Continuous focus, what's that, Kuya Mon? Continuous focus allows our camera to focus along our subject as our subject moves. Okay? So I'm using a single point continuous focus with our D7500.
Parinig ka ng parinig eh.
Tapos, focus mo, goal.
Iwan nyo lahat. Iwan nyo lahat. Okay, if you're not confident about your camera's continuous focus, okay, yeah, you can use single focus point. You can pre-focus. Okay, how do you do that? For example, you know for a fact that you're shooting your subject and he's gonna be coming from this line right here, right? Okay, so basically you know that your subject is gonna pass through here. Okay, so it's the same even in the street. You know basically where your subject's gonna pass. So pre-focus on that area. So if I'm standing here, I would try to focus somewhere here. Okay, and maybe use a wider depth of field, maybe around 5.6 to be safe, or f8 if possible, just so that you can get the correct focus in the certain area that you want to get your subject. Okay, you can do that. Sana naintindihan nila sinasabi ko. So I would focus somewhere here, I guess. Yan. And then wait for our subject to actually pass, and then see, hanep. right now we're shooting in a controlled environment, so I can actually direct where our athlete, hanep. Pakita mo yung athlete natin. Ayan. And right now we're shooting in a controlled environment, so we can actually direct our subject where to go, where to pass through, where to speed up, okay, how to ride the bike, and all those. But what if you're gonna be doing this on the streets, on the actual streets where you can't really predict what's gonna happen? So another tip is to position yourself correctly, okay? So it's just like pre-focusing. Right now, you're gonna be pre-visualizing where you should be standing and where your subject would be passing, okay? Because the thing is, if you're too close to your subject doing this, it won't be as good, and even the focus might have a hard time following your subject. If you're too close to them, or if they're filling up the screen too much, then we won't see any of the background suggesting the movement, suggesting the motion blur, suggesting the movement blur in the shot. It won't be that good, okay? So you have to position yourself correctly. Medyo usog mo medyo bandang gitna kung kaya, para hindi ka masyado dikit sa akin. Gago talaga. Ayop. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed this little episode, our 5 tips on how to shoot panning photos using your DSLRs. Ayan, I hope you guys enjoy it as much as we did. Enjoy him. I'd like you guys to meet, okay, the team. I think I haven't formally introduced them yet. So we have Victor here, Torjak TV. He also has his YouTube channel. We have Ninja here. IG, please.
Rubber boy.
Rubber boy.
Sad boy.
Gago. Dali.
Instagram at likeaninja07.
Oh, yeah.
Follow my page. Beautiful Instagram. Oh, yeah.
Gago talaga. Ayan. So, that's the team Photographers. And syempre, don't forget to like, subscribe, Photographers at YouTube. Okay, we also have our Facebook page. Just search Photographers, very searchable. We're the only photographers in town.
Yeah.
In the world. Thank you so much for everyone that supports us, everyone that sends us their messages, their prayers. Thank you so much for the people that sends us coffee. Oh my God, thank you so much, guys. Ayun. Ano ba to? Bye-bye na. So I guess it's goodbye until next time. See you. Photographers. 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 Photographers.
Ito po ay isang public apology sa huli ko pong nasabi sa nakaraang episode patungkol po sa aming pagpapatulpo kay Kuya Mon. Kasi po ang ending kami po yung pinatulpo ni Kuya Mon dahil daw parati namin siyang tinatawag na sermon kayo ng sermon, yun yung sabi niya sa amin. So pinatulpo niya kami and wala pong katotohanan yung hindi niya kami binibigyan ng mga benefits kasi ang dami niya pong nirereto sa amin na kami na po mismo yung tumatanggi dahil ang dami na. So gusto ko lang po humingi ng gusto ko lang mag-sorry kay Kuya Mon at mabuhay ang photographers.